श्रीराम राम रामेति रमे रामे मनोरमे सहस्रनाम तत्तुल्यं रामनाम वरानने श्रीराम नाम वरानन ॐ नम इति। ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
Welcome back. The text has reached the man of realization. The statement goes,
एवं च वेदान्तवाक्यैः सद्गुरु उपदेशेन च सर्वेष्वपि भूतेषु येषां ब्रह्मबुद्धिरुत्पन्नात् ते जीवन्मुक्तः इति अर्थः।
in this way, evam cha, Vedanta Vakya, by the statements of Vedas, Vedanta, Tattvamasi, and the Upadesha of the Guru, with the knowledge of the Vedas and by the experience of the Guru's words, the knowledge that dawns, it gives that individual Jivan Mukti. What is such knowledge? The knowledge that transcends the barriers of limitation. We know that the world is known as Desha, Kala, Vastu, meaning that the world is of time and causation. The one who transcends Desha, Kala, Vastu, Aparichinna, who transcends with the knowledge of Vedanta and by the words of the Guru, such an individual is known as Jivan Mukta. What happens when this knowledge dawns? Actually, we want to know this because this is that aspect where the text is coming to a conclusion. And whether it be the mantra sections of the Vedas, whether it be the Brahmana section of the Vedas, or whether it be the Upanishadic section of the Vedas, each of these texts which appear in these three different parts of Vedas, they always start with for whom this knowledge is given. The adhikari, the student who is fit to receive this knowledge. Meaning, one has to have the aptitude for a particular knowledge. Not everybody who is very intelligent would want to become a medical doctor. Not everybody who's extremely strong would want to pick up arms and go on the front, become an army man. These are different aptitudes, the inclination of the mind. We are born with it. At the same time, while we are growing up, from childhood, from the time we are born to the growing up, the samskaras, the conditionings, the thought process that has been developed in us due to the surrounding and the education gives us this aptitude of what I want to do, what I want to achieve. And this freedom is only for humans. In the animal kingdom, in the plant kingdom, this is not the case. Every single goat which is born has an innate fear of being eaten. Every tiger that is born has this innate feeling in it that nothing can happen to me. Why? Because I am powerful. This is a natural inclination they cannot change. But only in human beings, we have this ability of transcending the natural instincts, the animalistic instincts in us, and transcend from animal to be a human. And then, in the same way, to transcend from just being a human to realizing who you truly are. These are the stages of the inclination that you have that will prompt you to move and gain that knowledge. Isn't it? Therefore, first the adhikari is spoken about, for whom this knowledge is. In the same way, this text started with sadhana chatushtaya sampanna adhikari. An individual who possesses all those 4 gunas, aspects, qualities, will fully benefit by the text. The next aspect of the entire Vedic literature, the Upanishads, is what the subject matter is. Just as on today, we have a textbook. On the top of the textbook, outer cover, it is already written what this textbook covers. So if you have the aptitude for Atma Vidya, then you follow this text. Then you follow the master. The next aspect is always explaining the content matter in its absolute detail. Upon knowing the content matter, upon learning the content matter, upon realizing the content matter, the last aspect tells you about the relationship between this content matter and the subject. The topic means phalashruti. What does this book achieve? What will you achieve by knowing this knowledge? The phalashruti. These 4 are called Anubandha Chatushtaya. A classical textbook is known by these things. When a classical textbook is written, these are the thoughts which are absolutely clearly indicated before the text even begins. And now we have reached to the 4th aspect, the final, the sambandha, the phalashruti. So naturally we will be interested in knowing how and what and who is this individual known as Jivan Mukta. What is this Jivan Mukta? Who is this Jivan Mukta? How does he think? How does he be? So the text says,
Nanu Jivan Muktah Kaha Yatha Dehoham Purushoham Brahmanoham Shudroham Smi iti Dridanischaya Tatha Naham Brahmana Na Shudra Na Purusha Kintu Asangha Satchidananda Swarupaha Prakash Rupa Sarva Antaryami Chidakash Rupo Asmi iti Dridinischaya Rupo Parokshajnanavan Jivana Muktah.
I wake up and I know I am a man. In the whole day, whatever activities that I do, every activity that I do is from this subconsciously known knowledge that I am a man. The identification is so strong that I don't even need to repeat it in even once while brushing my teeth. Oh, I am a man. I don't have to say this. Why? It is ingrained in my subconscious. It is ingrained in me. Oh, I am this. Oh, I am that. I am a Brahmana. Oh, I am a Shudra. Oh, I am a businessman. Oh, I am a worker. Etc. and etc. These are all the limitations, superimpositions on us. And this is our reality as of today. But with Vedanta Vakya and the explanation of the Guru, when you have this firm conviction that I am not the body, I am not a Brahman, I am not a Shudra, I am not a businessman, I am not this, I am not that, I am not that. when there is a dridhanishchaya in your mind becomes perfectly clear on this, that you are Satchidanand. I am existence, consciousness, bliss. That I am asangaha. What is the meaning of asangaha? Unattached. As the example of Pratibimba, the reflected sun in the bucket was attached to the limitations of the bucket. But the sun, pure sun, was unaffected, not bound, not attached to anything. I am that pure consciousness, unattached. Asanga, Satchidananda Swarupa. Sat, Chit, Ananda. Sat, that means reality, the truth. Chit, pure consciousness. Awareness. What kind of awareness? Awareness without any physical presence, without any physical attachments, without any physical presence. Pure awareness. And Anand, bliss, meaning infinite. The meaning of infinite means Purna. Purna means complete, means full, means absolute, means it doesn't need anything. When you don't need anything, you are in bliss. Understand? We are talking of that Jivan Mukta who has transcended the physical needs, the subtle needs, the gross needs, everything it has transferred. It has transcended. It has reached to the state of pure awareness. Therefore, he identifies completely only as itself, Satchidananda Swarup, Prakash Swarup. The knowledge that enlivens in you, that enlivens the body, that enlivens the mind, that enlivens those thoughts in the intellect, is the Prakasha, is the Swarupa, is the source of that knowledge, which is expressed as brightness, as light, as Prakasha. That I am. Because of me, this entire cosmos is in its motion. Because the cosmos is Tamapradhana, meaning it is insentient. It is just matter. And I am the sentient factor, the Swaprakasha in them, which enacts them to move. Sarva Antarayami. The example, once again, of the buckets, hundreds, thousands of buckets, but one sun reflecting in thousands and millions of buckets, and the waters of the whole universe. In the same way, the same consciousness is shining in all the individuals, in all the living creatures, in all the beings, is one. And that I am. I am the indweller of all. This is called oneness. This is called the vision of oneness. If I am throbbing in you, if I am throbbing everywhere, how am I different than you? Are we not one? Will this thought not absolutely and completely stop the wars of the world? The differences that we see between one brother and another, between man and man, woman and woman. This is Vedanta. It has the message for world peace. It tells us not to be tolerant with each other. teaches us, it explains to us, you are one. Where is the question of tolerating each other? You are me and I am you. I am Sarva Atma, Sarva Bhutatma, Mama. As the great Tulsidas Maharaj, who has written the Ramcharitramanas, he says,
सिया राम मैं सब जग जानी करूं प्रणाम जोरी जग पानी.
knowing that the entire world is nothing but Ram, I went and I bowed to everyone. Why? Because the vision has become that broad. Everywhere that I go, it is only I. It is only my Ram. It is my Ishwar. I bow to everyone because everyone is Ram. This is the vision of Vedanta. Chidakasha. That I am Chidakasha. What is Chidakasha? Akasha means space. There is a Ghatakasha, means space in a pot. Then there is a Mathakasha. Matha means ashram. Ashram space. There is a pot space which is in the ashram space, which is in the general space, but everything is in Chidakasha, means in the consciousness. Consciousness is which is prevalent in that pot space. When the pot space breaks, it is already in the ashram space. When Ghatakasha breaks, it is already in Mathakasha. When all the walls and boundaries of the ashrams are flattened, entire ashram has merged into the Akasha, in space. And when all the space is folded up in the Mahapralaya, it is in Chidakasha. And that Chidakasha, Aham Asmi, I am the Chidakasha, which gives space even to the space. I am unlimited, infinite self. This does not mean that today you go to your wife and tell, hey, touch my feet. Why? I am Chidakasha. She'll take the broom and give it on your head. This does not come. This realization just does not come by listening. It has to be experienced. Aparoksha. Aparoksha means there are ways of experiencing, isn't it? One, I can see something and I can experience. This seeing something and experiencing is called pratyaksha. Means direct. I am directly seeing. This is pratyaksha jnana. I am knowing this directly because I am seeing it. I am hearing it. I am tasting it. I am smelling it. I am feeling it. Direct knowledge. Then there is another way of knowledge, which is paroksha. Means heard from somebody, read in a book, seen in a movie, or somebody has visited a place and has been telling me the tales and narration of a place. This is inferred knowledge. There is something even more direct than direct knowledge. Why? Direct knowledge is not really direct. It is your eyes which meet the object. One, the object is there. Two, the eyes are here. Three, the eyes send the message to the mind. Four, the mind had a previous experience of that object. Then that object is seen in the mind. Had that mind not known that object, there would have been no knowledge of the object. It would have just seen the object. This is science. But we, in our world, live with this knowledge. That which I don't see, I don't believe in. That which I see, I believe in. that which I can hear with my ears, I believe in. This is not direct knowledge. This is indirect knowledge. But there is a knowledge which is immediate, the knowledge of self. When self-knowledge dawns, it's an immediate knowledge. Why? Because it is not dependent on any organs. It is not knowledge of an object. It is a subjective knowledge. It is not dependent on your mind and memory. Why? Because the consciousness, the self, is beyond the mind and memory. The knowledge that you have heard, that you have studied, that you have got PhD about, that you have worked all your life and gained from the world, will one day be washed away. Either when you become very old and you have no memory of anything, or you have Alzheimer's, no memory will be left that you have gained from the world. None, including what you are hearing today. But once you have gained the self-knowledge with direct knowledge, aparoksha jnana, aparoksha, paroksha, aksha means eyes or knowledge. Aparoksha means immediate knowledge, which cannot be taken away. Why? Because it is the knowledge of the self. So even if a jnani, a man of perfection, dies in a coma, he will never forget what he truly is, because he does not remember it in his mind. He knows it in his self. And this is the biggest gain. That this is that knowledge. Once it has dawned, it cannot be taken away. It cannot be stolen away. It cannot be forgotten. This is known as aparoksha anubhuti. This is known as aparoksha jnana. These kind of men, these kind of people are known as jivan mukta. Jiva means while living, jivan. Mukta means liberated. Liberated while living. Liberated from what? From the body pain? No, they will have knee pain. They will have back pain. But they will not associate it with that, because it knows that the body has the pain, not I. But you and me, in our ignorance of the self, we attribute every single passing thought, pains and pleasure, attributing to ourselves. Oh, I am so unhappy. Oh, I am delighted. Oh, I have lost this. Oh, I have gained that. We become the karta, the doer, and then bhokta, the sufferer or enjoyer. And in this way, because we are constantly in the state of karta and bhokta, doer and enjoyer, we are continuously making this cycle of samsara, life, continuously go on. It never stops, because you never break away from this identification. You never come to the reality that who truly you are. However, the man of knowledge, known as the jnani or jivan mukta, he reaches that state where he, that individual, has realized his true self. Then he lives in the world just like you and me. He lives amongst us. He eats, drinks just like you and me. He realizes that he is not the body, not the mind, not the intellect. That the world is only apparently real. And that the self is Satchidananda Swarup, to whom there is no birth, no death. Why? Bhagavad Gita explains in such way. What is Atma?
काट सके न उसे शस्त्र, अग्नि भी न जला सके, न भिगो सके उसे पानी, वायु भी न सुखा सके। जो झिरता टूटता नहीं, भीगता सुखता नहीं, आत्मा नित्य है अविनाशी, शरीर के मृत्यु से भी ना मरे.
It is that which does not die when the body dies. Why? Because it is never born. It is pure consciousness. It is always from Anadi to Ananta. This is the state of the mind of the Jnani. If this is the state of the Jnani, then what happens to his karma? We are Hindu and we believe in the karma. The master said that he is surpassing and beyond all the three, body, mind and intellect. But the body still continues to live, eat and drink. That means it is performing karmas. And this is what the book, the text comes to the point where when you say you are free from the bondage of action, the bondage from complete actions. When we perform an action, the karma theory says that the reason this thought of action came to us, the jiva, is because of a past action that we had performed, karma, and that karma phala, the result of that karma, has brought us to this point where we are wanting to do that particular action. It's an inclination to do that. And when we do that action, depending of the desire, I want to do that action in the future again. There are three actions we are speaking about. One action which was done in the past, sanchita karma, well accumulated karmas of the past. The second karma, which is the result of the karmas that we had performed before, which has come to our present action, which is called prarabdha karma, the action which you are doing, about to do now. Prarabdha, I am doing it now. Prarabdha. The desire of doing it again in the future will give birth to future karmas. Agami karma. The karmas of the past, sanchita karma. The actions that you do, karmas now, is the prarabdha karma. And the results of this karma which is going to come in the future, agami karma. First, let us take with the agami karma. For a man of realization, he has dropped the identification with the body, mind and intellect. He is no more karta, therefore he is no more bhokta. He is no more karta means he is not considering himself to be a doer. Why? He is chidakasha. He is not identified with the body, mind and intellect anymore. So, how can there be any more karmas to him? So, all the agami karmas cannot come to him. Why? Why it cannot come to him? Because he is not identified. But the law of the nature cannot change. If you do something, the result has to be there. The cause has to be there if there is an effect. And if there is a cause, the effect will come. Where does those karmas that he does, Jnani Purusha does, after being liberated go?
किंच ये ज्ञानिनं स्तुवन्ति भजन्ति अर्चयन्ति तान् प्रति ज्ञानिकृतम् आगामि पुण्यं गच्छति. ये ज्ञानिनं निन्दन्ति द्विषन्ति दुःखप्रदानं कुर्वन्ति तान् प्रति ज्ञानिकृतं सर्व आगामि क्रियामानं यद् अवाच्यं कर्म पापात्मकं तद् गच्छति. सुहृदयः पुण्यकृतं दुर्हृदयः पापकृत्यं गृह्णन्ति इति.
The actions that he performs, she performs after being liberated. It is said in the Shastra that these agami karmas, they are distributed amongst the people he is knowing. Those who are loving and caring and respectful to him, his good karmas go to them. And those who are cursing him, those who are unwelcoming, apunya karmas, the papa karmas go to them. This happens for a jivan mukta to his future karmas. What happens to his current karmas? Prarabdha karma. What is the meaning of prarabdha? Prarabdha means that which has already taken force, which is already in force. It means an arrow which has been left, a bullet that has been fired, and the force behind the arrow, the force behind the bullet ends, the bullet falls off, or it meets the target. In the same way, the prarabdha that the Jivan Mukta was born with, those have to be fulfilled. He will have to go through the ups and downs of samsara. Having Jivan Mukti does not mean that you shall not suffer or enjoy the karmas that you had done past when you were not a Jivan Mukta. You will have to go through that in this life. This is the beauty of this knowledge. Even when you reach Jivan Mukta, what you had done in the past, your body will have to suffer or enjoy. This is a fact which we have seen in the great masters. Even Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, a great saint, benevolent heart, loving, caring Guru, he had to suffer with cancer. Our own Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda, he had to suffer his heart problem. Why? Prarabdha karma. But unlike you and me, they don't suffer the agony because they are detached from the body. What goes through in the body never reaches the self. This is about prarabdha karma. And now about those sanchita karmas which are well stored from the many lives that have been done, which have not yet become prarabdha, which would have become prarabdha in the future lives. What happens to that sanchita karma? That gets burnt away. How? How does that get burnt away? For this, an example has been given. It says that, imagine, convict who has done a lot of harm to the society and he has performed every single bad act that the book says, and he is apprehended. Police has now taken him to the court, and the judge has proclaimed that yes, he needs to be hung for the crimes that he has created. And 7 days later, he is supposed to be hanged. But on the 6th morning, he dies. What was his punishment for all the heinous crimes that he had done? He was supposed to be hanged by the neck until he dies. But what happened? He died of a heart attack before. Now, what will happen to that punishment? What will happen to all those crimes that he had created? You can't do anything. You cannot hang a dead man again. So what happens? The old crime is being torn away. Why? The man is no more, the crimes are no more. It's an analogy. In the same way, so long as I am identified as a jiva, so long as I am identified as the body, mind and intellect, all the sanchita is attributed to me. Why? Because I am attributing everything to myself. This I and me, this ego, is what attracts the sanchita karma to me, which binds the sanchita karma to me. But when, like Hanumanji said, Atmabuddhya Tvamevaham. When the identification as a deha, body, as a jiva, the individual, is left, there is no karta bhokta left. Why? Because you have become one with the infinite. So how will that sanchita karma come to you? Therefore it gets destroyed. This is Tattvabodha. It is one of the Prakarana Granthas. Prakarana Granthas means a text which is a preliminary text, a text of terminology. This text is principally designed for a sadhaka who is embarking the journey of spirituality. But if a sadhaka follows what the text has said under the guidance of the Guru, this text has the potential to take you to Jivan Mukti here and now. This text also becomes the foundational text for the other Vedantic texts such as Bhagavad Gita, the Upanishads, and Brahma Sutra. These three combined together are called Prasthana Trayi. To a seasoned student, to a student who has studied these texts, the Prasthanatrayi, after going through this Prasthanatrayi, the masters suggest to such seasoned sadhakas to go back to Tattvabodha so that clarity of your thoughts with the purity of mind is regained. Today, we end this beautiful text, but the studies have just begun. As explained before, this text is one of the preliminary texts. By the grace of Bhagavan and by the Ashirvad of our Guru, we intend to take the entire Vedanta Shastra for the benefit of our sadhakas, for the benefit of our students who are unable to reach the Master yet. But with this prayer in our heart, that these videos kindle that inquiry in the heart, in the bosom of the listener, that they reach the feet of the Master and they study and they realize their true self. Why? Because time is limited. Time is passing by very soon. Kala kridati gacchati ayuhu. Time is playing with us and our age is passing. Tadapina munchati asha. And yet, as the age is passing away, still we are not able to leave the attachment of the world, the attachment of the body. As on today, we know three things: that we have taken a birth, that we have to live a life, and one day we are going to die. This is the reality of the world, 90%, 99% of the world. Few percentage of the world think that after they die, they will go to heaven and there they will enjoy. And after their vacation is over, they'll take a birth again and come and live life. Or going to the heaven is the final thing, there is nothing more. There is greatness. But Vedanta Shastra explains to us that there is much more to be achieved while you are living. With the experience of the masters who have achieved the goal while they are living, and at the present moment they are present in front of you to guide you. This knowledge is unique. This knowledge is possible, is available. One has to just want to have it and then convert that want of having into a burning desire of a mumukshu, the burning desire of knowing this and nothing else, and move in this direction and be the Jivan Mukta that the text Tattvabodha speaks about. I cannot thank enough Pujya Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda. I cannot thank enough Pujya Guruji Swami Tejomayanand. And I cannot thank enough to our Swamis Acharyas for having blessed us with this brilliant knowledge, and who still continue to do this. Before we end, as Shastra requires us to do, we shall do that. When a Shastric text comes to an end, after the last verse, once again the first verse is repeated. Kindly repeat.
साधन चतुष्टय संपन्नाधिकारिणां मोक्ष साधन भूतं तत्व विवेक प्रकारं वक्ष्यामः। ओम पूर्णमद पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरुवे नमः।